Thank you, Councillor Corley. I welcome the chance to contribute to this discussion, debate this evening. And as a farmer, a beef farmer, and Minister of State with responsibility in this area, I am keenly aware that beef farmers are going through a difficult time. A sustained period of low prices followed on from additional costs last year arising from the unprecedented weather events has presented challenges for the sector. The prospect of a hard Brexit is also an enormous challenge given rise to continued uncertainty. Given the scale of these challenges, I hope the debate this evening will be a constructive one. It's very easy to criticise low prices and call on the Minister to condemn beef factories, but we have to ask, where will that get us? We need to work collectively as public representatives to consider how to strategically support the beef sector to secure the future of beef farmers and their families. While government cannot determine commodity prices, we can support farmers through a range of schemes. These supports are critically important, especially for beef farmers. Ireland has established a major scheme for suckler farmers in its Rural Development Programme. The Beef Data and Genomics Scheme programme provides Irish beef farmers with some €300 million in funding over the current Rural Development Programme period. It is aimed at improving the environmental sustainability of the national suckler herd by increasing its genetic merit, increasing efficiency and reducing input costs on beef farms. In addition, Minister Creed recently launched the Beef Environmental Efficiency Pilot, a targeted support of €20 million for suckler farmers, specifically aimed at further improving the economic and environmental efficiency of beef production. Beef farmers are beneficiaries of the €23 million in additional funding provided to Areas of Natural Constraints, the Areas of Natural Constraints scheme this year, in addition to the delivery of the programme for government commitment of €25 million. A legal framework and funding has been provided for the establishment of producer organisations, and we are committed to the promotion of these groups across the sector. Minister Creed is also very firmly committed to ensuring that suckler farmers continue to receive strong support in the next CAP. Critically, Ireland has called for the protection of the CAP budget, and Minister Creed has engaged extensively with other member states to seek support for this position. The Taoiseach has indicated that Ireland is prepared to increase its net contributions to the EU budget, but only if core policies, including the CAP, are protected. The motion this evening calls on the Government to support low-income farmers under CAP. The current CAP is directing €100 million in payments from farmers on higher payments to lower payments, and has introduced a cap on payments for the first time. In relation to the Brexit, Minister Creed and officials have been working hard for quite some time to sensitise other member states and the Commission to the potentially very severe impacts of a no-deal Brexit on the Irish agri-food and fisheries sectors. The work undertaken has included a detailed analysis of the possible impact of the proposed EU-UK tariff schedule in the event of a no-deal Brexit. It is clear that the imposition of such a regime would have serious implications for the beef sector in Ireland. With this in mind, Minister Creed held further bilateral discussions with Commissioner Hogan on this issue in the margins of the Council of Ministers in Brussels just last week. And Minister Creed stressed the need to be ready to deploy a range of measures to mitigate the potential impacts on farmers and processors, including through traditional market supports and the exceptional aid provisions under the CAP's Common Market Organisation regulation, as well as increased flexibility under state aid regulations. Commissioner Hogan has indicated that the EU is ready to support Ireland, and contact on these issues will continue as the situation evolves. The terms and conditions of any aid package will be announced in due course in the event that a disorderly Brexit occurs, and we continue to hope, of course, that this outcome can be avoided. The value of the Irish agri-food exports has increased by 73% in value between 2009 and 2018, from 7.8 to 13.6 billion. This growth has been driven by a strong reputation that the Irish product has in meeting the highest standards of food safety and animal welfare, quality and nutrition. And live exports are part of this dynamic, and provide a critically important alternative market for Irish farmers. In 2018, the volume of live exports increased by some 30%. The provision of lairage capacity at Cherbourg raised in the motion is of course a commercial matter. However, Minister Creed has spoken to his French counterpart on the matter on a number of occasions, and officials have also been in touch. And indeed, recently the authorities have approved, French authorities, an increase in lairage capacity by approximately 400 bovines in Cherbourg. Market development and diversification is also a key response to the challenges which Brexit posed for the agri-food, in particular the beef sector. In 2018, a number of additional markets were opened, including the Chinese beef market following years of sustained effort. The Economic Partnership Agreement signed off between the EU and Japan provides very welcome preferential access to the lucrative Japanese market. The other side of the coin is the protection of the Irish interest in the context of international trade negotiations. And nobody has done more than this government to protect the vulnerable Irish sectors in international trade negotiations, including those with Mercosur countries. The need to ensure that the Irish beef is protected will continue to inform our engagement on all such negotiations. Thank you, Kevin Crowley.